Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the brand new Nike Flyknit Lunar 2 running shoes. Now as you can see, they come in your standard orange Nike Performance box. The label of course reads the name of the shoe, Nike Flyknit Lunar 2. These are a size 10 US. The colorway I have here is a wolf gray, white, dark gray, and black pair, and the retail price on this particular shoe is $150 US, down $10 from the previous model, the Lunar Flyknit 1. So get this out of the way, give you guys a look at these shoes, because personally I really like the look of the Flyknit Lunar 2. Now before we get into anything, I do have the Lunar 1 and I have been wearing it for quite a while, pretty much since it originally released. It's one of my personal favorite running shoes, and I thought it might be cool to do a comparison video on this channel between the Flyknit Lunar 1 and the Flyknit Lunar 2. It's not something that I've done before on this channel, but if you guys would be interested in seeing it, be sure to leave a like on the video or just leave a comment down below letting me know that you would in fact like to see it. And if I get enough of a response, I definitely will get to making that video right away, because I think a lot of people may be interested in that particular comparison, because there are quite a few significant differences and some pretty significant improvements that I see right off the bat with the Flyknit Lunar 2 that the Flyknit Lunar 1 may have had some issues with. So again, leave a comment down below, let me know if you would be interested in seeing that. Now as far as the colorway itself goes, this is one of 6 colorways at the launch of the Flyknit Lunar 2, and I have to say I've seen every single colorway in person, held them all in my hands, and I'm very impressed with what Nike has put out at the launch of this particular shoe. I really had a tough time picking out which colorway that I like the best. At the end of the day, I did go for this particular color just because it was a little bit more subtle. I like the kind of grayscale theme they have going on here, but every single color that they have launched this shoe in looks absolutely fantastic in person, and I think they all show off the whole Flyknit design really well, apart from of course the solid black color. But again, if you're looking for something subtle and want that Flyknit feel, you do have that option, and it still does look very good. Now this color, as you can see, is pretty much a combination of light wolf gray and a darker gray with your black and white accents throughout. The back area of the shoe is kind of a combination of black and darker gray. You have your white Nike swoosh that is more or less painted onto the upper on both the inside and outside of the heel area. I know a lot of people don't like this particular kind of triangle shaped design here, but to me it really is growing on me. I didn't honestly like it all that much at first, but I have to say that in person it does look a lot better. You have your gray in the laces, your gray in the tongue. The heel liner is all black. It does have a wolf gray insole for those of you guys wondering. On the back you will find your heel tab with your little kind of rectangular shaped 3M pieces, so it is slightly reflective. I believe that this little tag here on the front where it actually says Nike Flyknit Lunar 2 is also reflective. And then of course moving on to the midsole, you're going to find that Lunar Lawn material in solid black, and then the outsole carrier, if you will, or the kind of shell on the outside, which I believe is a Phylon foam type of material, is kind of like a slightly shiny, sparkly finish, wolf gray. And then moving on to the bottom, again, you have that grayscale design, dark gray, light gray, wolf gray, and then your black accents throughout. Now as far as the actual upper itself goes, for those of you guys that are not familiar with Flyknit, Flyknit is essentially a woven type of material. It's woven by machines. If you look closely at this, it's not really something that somebody could actually knit themselves. So Nike does have these pretty advanced machines that is able to essentially knit the upper of a running shoe, and what that does is it makes for a shoe that they can more or less engineer every single inch of, making for something that is going to be supportive where it needs to be, breathable where it needs to be, flexible where it needs to be, and more or less have the feel of a sock on your foot. And that's really the best way to describe any of the Flyknit models, is that they truly do feel like a sock on your foot. You can wear them with socks or you can wear them barefoot, and they just have a very natural feel that you don't get from a standard mesh-based running shoe. Now you can see that the Flyknit pattern on this particular shoe is fairly closed here in the toe. It's still very flexible. I would say more so than what we found on the Flyknit Lunar 1, whereas the outside here features a lot of open mesh areas. As you can see, there's kind of completely cut out. Not sure if you guys can see my finger through there, but these are completely see-through. It's going to allow for tons of breathability. You're also going to find that same amount of breathability here on the tongue as well as on the inside, whereas the darker areas here in the black and dark gray are solid. They're going to be a little bit more supportive, and you also have your black flywire cables, dynamic flywire cables running through these little kind of lines in dark gray. As you guys can see, that's really what makes up this particular design. It's not just there for looks, it's actually there for function as well. And then moving on to the back area, that's where you're going to find a little bit more structure to the shoe. Of course, the outside is still made from Flyknit, but there's also a little bit of an internal heel counter right here, as well as some foam and padded mesh material here in the back, just to keep everything locked in place and feeling very, very comfortable. Something that I did not notice online and that you really wouldn't tell until you hold the shoe in your hand is that this is not a completely free tongue anymore. It's actually an internal boot. You can see that it is actually stitched to the upper on here, pretty much right up to this lace hole right here. So from here down, it's essentially an internal little booty, if you will, where the tongue is not completely free. As you can see, I can't actually pull it out. This top part is a little bit open and free, but this little area in the forefoot really helps to hold your foot in place. And if you don't want to necessarily tie your shoes all the way, or just you like to leave them loose for casual wear, you're going to have a more secure fit because of this tongue that is partway stitched into the shoe. Now in this top part is a little bit free. It's a different Flyknit material, and the tongue is also a little bit longer, which you guys will notice in the on-feet portion of the video. One of my major complaints I had with the Flyknit Lunar 1 is that the tongue was way too short, whereas on the Lunar 2 they made sure that the tongue was plenty long enough. Not only does it look better, it also feels a lot better when you're actually running in these things. I also noticed that they changed the laces as well. Instead of those very thin ribbon laces, which to me looked cool but honestly didn't feel all that great, they went with the more traditional running shoe flat lace, which again I think looks good with the shoe. It doesn't really change the overall performance all that much, but to me is a definite improvement over the Lunar 1 as well. And you also do have an extra lace hole here at the top, which again was not on the Flyknit Lunar 1, and it's just going to make for a more secure fit overall when you do tie them up all the way to the top. Now the insole, I'll remove that for you guys quickly. It is fully removable for those of you wondering. Pretty much just a mesh liner on top, and it's your pretty standard Ortholite insole. It's that blue padded material. It's very, very spongy, and it's going to provide a nice kind of comfortable feel. And then moving on to the outsole, you're going to find a combination of Lunar foam, which you can see that top line in black. Running all the way throughout the shoe is that Lunar material. It's a very responsive yet very well cushioned type of foam from Nike, and this outside carrier is going to be that stiffer foam, but you can see that the Lunar foam goes right to the base of the shoe, so it's more of a bottomless feel, and it does provide a very cushioned, very comfortable feel, whether you're just wearing them casually or you're actually going to be running in them. This is also pretty much their new carrier that we're most likely going to see on the next Lunar Glide model. I believe the Lunar Glide 5 and the Lunar Flyknit 1 shared the exact same carrier, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this, like I said, on the Lunar Glide 6, which probably is going to be coming out in the next couple of months or so. I'm not completely sure on that. And then moving on to the outsole, again, we do have a bit of a redesign as far as what it looks like. You can see that you do have some exposed foam here. All this light gray area is pretty much just exposed foam. It's hard enough to where it isn't going to wear away, but in this kind of grayscale pattern you have going right here, as well as at the tip of the toe, you're going to find that harder, kind of more durable, grippy rubber, which is pretty standard for any type of running shoe. Has this kind of cool little pattern going on there, and they are pretty much flex grooves right there, so you can see that they cut out, and when you do flex they will open up, so it should allow for some pretty decent flexibility to the shoe itself. And you're also going to find that BRS 1000 rubber right here at the heel area as well, pretty much in all the high wear zones, as you would expect from a pair of running shoes. So not only do the Flyknit Lunar 2s look good, they also have all of the performance elements needed for a high-end running shoe. And at the $150 price tag, they aren't all that bad, and they're not all that expensive, I should say. Definitely a little bit more affordable than the original model, and to me they have made some pretty significant improvements to the Lunar 2 in comparison to the Lunar 1. So with that being said, let's get into what these things look like on feet. Alright, here's a look at the Flyknit Lunar 2s on feet. In terms of visuals, I really like the look of this shoe. I know it's not for everybody, but there's something to be said about the appearance of Flyknit technology from Nike. It does have a very premium vibe about it, and while it is performance oriented, it still looks very, very good for everyday casual wear, at least in my opinion, especially in this kind of grayscale, more neutral colorway. You can pretty much wear them with everything. In terms of the overall feel of the shoe, in comparison to the Lunar 1, there's a couple things that jump out at me right off the bat. The first thing is, of course, the tongue, which was way too short on the Lunar 1, whereas on the Lunar 2, as you guys can see, is actually a lot longer, and it's plenty long, makes for more comfortable and just a better look overall. It doesn't feel like the tongue is sliding around on you or anything like that. They also added that extra lace hole, which to me makes a big difference in terms of how this shoe fits. It locks your heel in a lot better. And the other thing I noticed right off the bat is this one feels a little bit more natural on feet. It's extremely flexible from right out of the box, and I'm not sure if that is due to the new construction of the Flyknit, or if that has to do with the new outsole here, which is supposed to be more flexible. It's one of the things that Nike did mention as far as what the differences are from the Flyknit Lunar 1 to the Flyknit Lunar 2, and like I said, it's pretty noticeable from right out of the box. In terms of the cushioning, you still get that nice lunar lawn feel. Very, very comfortable pair of shoes. They truly do feel like a pair of socks on your feet. And in terms of sizing, I would say that they run about a half size small, just like the Flyknit Lunar 1 did. I wore a 9.5 in the Lunar 1, and that's because I did order them online. I didn't have a chance to try them on. It was a bit of a mistake. They felt great for great and comfortable for casual wear, but in terms of actually running in them, I felt like they were a little bit too snug. So I went for a 10 in the Lunar 2, and the fit is absolutely perfect. So for the most part, if you like a snugger feel and you're just going to be wearing them casually, you can stay true to size. Whereas if you want something that is perhaps going to be a little bit more comfortable and is going to be more oriented for performance wear, I would strongly recommend going a half size up. Alright, here's a look at the Flyknit Lunar 2s on feet with a pair of pants. And the main reason why I picked up this particular colorway is, yes, I will be running in them, but at the same time, this is such a comfortable pair of shoes, and they look so good that you definitely can wear them casually. And this grayscale colorway pretty much goes with everything. It's not necessarily something that I would normally choose when it comes to a pair of running shoes, but because, like I said, I like these so much and they are so comfortable, it's something I want to wear as much as possible. And like I said, with a pair of jeans, and as you can see, they actually look pretty good. The Flyknit material does have that kind of premium aesthetic to it, and for the most part, if you're looking for a great, comfortable pair of shoes to wear on a daily basis in warmer types of weather, this is one of those shoes that not only looks great, but is as comfortable as they come. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the Nike Flyknit Lunar 2. Basically, this is a shoe that I can highly recommend without even having worn it all that much. If you like the feel of socks, if you like the feel of lunar lawn cushioning, you're going to absolutely adore the Flyknit Lunar 2. It's an extremely comfortable shoe. It looks great in my opinion, and really has all of the performance features that you could possibly want in a pair of running shoes, not to mention that they look great for casual wear and come in at a fairly reasonable $150 price tag. Again, if you are interested in purchasing a pair of these for yourself, there will be a link in the description of this video. I'll also leave a link to the review page on my website where you guys can see some of the high quality images of this particular shoe to get a better idea as to how it actually does look in person, because there are lots and lots of details in the Flyknit material that you really can't see in most of the online stock photos. So be sure to go ahead and check that out. Again, both links are down below in the description. If you have any questions regarding the shoe or suggestions for shoes you'd like to see me bring in, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe for more sneaker videos. All of my social media information can also be found down below in the description. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.